First sip of coffee in the morning, so good. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 68 of our Be a Better You annual challenge. Today we are talking about step 3 of our SOAP framework, which is A for action. So we want to analyze the options or alternatives we came up with yesterday, and we want to pick one to take action on today. Why? Because we never want to leave the scene of a decision without taking some sort of action. It doesn't have to be giant action, but it has to do something to reinforce the decision that we've made. Why? Because that gets us going immediately and helps us to create momentum. And momentum will help us make changes faster than almost anything you can imagine possible. So today, I talked about yesterday the 10-3-1 brainstorming tool. We brainstorm at least 10 possible ways to start filling the gap between where we are and where we want to be. And as we look at those 10 things, we quickly self-analyze and pick the 3 ones that we are most likely to take action on quickly. Now, it doesn't mean we won't go back and revisit the entire list, because we probably will over the course of trying to fill that gap entirely. But for the most part, we want to start with 3, and we're going to analyze those 3. And I was thinking about using the plus or minus tool today, but I think that's just a little bit too simplistic. So we are going to use one of my also favorite tools because I've learned through vast number of decisions, if I don't include all 3 of these elements in my decision-making process, I will make a mistake, or I will not have chosen the best option for me at the time. How do I know this? Because hindsight's 20/20, and I go back and I review and I look at the decisions that I've made where things didn't work out the way I really wanted them to, or I anticipated they would. And I said, okay, well, what did I do right about this decision making? And what did I miss in this decision making? And almost every single time, it was because I missed or skipped over or negated one of these 3 elements. And these 3 elements are head, heart, and intuition, blah, blah, whatever that is, and however you define that. But if I don't listen to my gut, my head, and my heart, I know that I am probably not making the best decision for me. And usually if one or the other of those areas is screaming to me in some way, shape, or form on a subconscious level, I really need to double back and look deeper into what's going on there, because sometimes my gut will say, don't pay any attention. And if it's saying don't pay any attention, then that means I need to dig deeper and look further. Or if my intellect is saying this just doesn't make sense, but my head and my heart and my intuition are saying go, 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 maybe it's just because I'm afraid and I need to have a little more courage. But I need to dig deeper and find out, and then take that action, or take the action that comes out as the most appropriate one. So for example, where's my little journal today? I didn't write in it yet because yesterday was a busy day. Every day lately has been a busy day. It seems like since 2020 and 2021, when we came out of the pandemic, everything has just been chaotic and crazy. Although it's structured chaos, right? Structured chaos is way better than just plain chaos. So head, heart, intuition. Here's exactly what I do in my little book, which I have not done yet, but I will do. I picked the 3 options that I'm going to analyze, right? And I write the options here. It doesn't matter what order you do the columns in or where you write the options, but I write each of the options down. Then I have a section for head, heart, intuition. And I just rate, and this is, of course, a little bit subjective, because every decision we make is a little bit subjective, no matter how objective we think we are as human beings. And I like to think I'm a math engineer, nerdy, subjective person, but I'm absolutely both. I'm a totally emotional person, even though I try to deny it on almost every occasion. There are so many stories there. Okay, so head, heart, intuition. So I picked, for example, my relationship with my kids. What do I want to do or my communication, my verbal communication. We're focusing on communication this month. My verbal communication with my kids and my grandchildren and people I love and care about, people that are in my inner circle, my sisters, my mom, my brothers-in-law, etc. How do I communicate with them in a way that is more in alignment with how I want to communicate with them versus how I already communicate with them? Because it's not always the best, right? Or the most appropriate. So I looked at different options and different ways of improving that. I could get a coach, right? I didn't write these down here, but I could have a coach, or I could have a mentor. I could join a membership program. I could take a course. I could read a book. I could do all kinds of things, but I have to go with and then ask myself about each of the 3 options that I choose. What does my gut tell me about this? Does my gut say yes or no? And then the one it's leaning most toward, I'll usually give the highest number. The one that I have the most intellectual and heartfelt desire to do, I'll give that the highest number. And I just compare the three. It takes less than 2 minutes to do this usually, but by doing it and writing it down, I have something to go refer back to. If I then do pick one option and I implement and take action on that option today, and it doesn't turn out the way I want, I can go back and can look at my chart and say, okay, well, this is how I thought I was looking at it. But sometimes our intellect overrides our heart and our gut, right? And if we see that that's happening, we know to interact and give our heart and our gut a little more emphasis and a little more power in making the decisions. I hope this makes sense. If it doesn't, please ask. Just hit me up and ask. I've used this tool literally thousands of times. And since I do all three, and when I use this tool, I find out that I get much better results than if I just wing it and make a decision or a choice or take action immediately without considering some type of decision-making tool or an analysis of objectives. Now, sometimes I'll try to do more than one thing at once, and then I don't know what worked and what didn't. So I like to break it down, say, this is a thing I'm going to do first. This is the second action I'm going to take. This is the third action I'm going to take, etc. As I'm starting to fill that gap. I try to not jump the gun and act, and then not know what worked. I used to do that with nutrition and vitamins. I would take a bunch of supplements, and one of them would make me not feel good, but then I wouldn't know which one it was because I would change things up too fast. So now I actually test and tweak all the different things that I do, and we'll talk about that when we focus on our physical health and well-being, which is flipped around and actually toward the end of this year instead of the beginning. Usually it's the first month I talk about physical health and well-being because nothing will shut you down faster, and I know this from 100% personal experience, than having a health challenge. All right. Any questions, ask. Otherwise, do this today and then take action right now. Do one thing. Once you decide what action and alternative you're going to take action on, do something today. Even if it's just write an email, pick up the phone, think about, look up, order a book on Amazon, do something to solidify your decision. All right. Have an awesome day. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.